Welcome, dear friend, to this tranquil haven we have carefully prepared for you, and thank you from the gentlest corner of our heart for choosing to spend these quiet moments with us. We have woven for you a story, the Book of Closing Eyes, crafted with the sole purpose of serving as a soft, comforting hand that gently guides you toward a peaceful night's slumber, helping you to drift off with ease and grace. If, as you journey with us into the heart of stillness, you find a gentle joy in this quiet tale, please do right now lend your support by liking this story, subscribing to our channel, and perhaps sharing a gentle comment, for it truly helps us continue to share these moments of serenity. Before we step onto the veiled pathway where the air itself breathes a hush and ancient roots hum with forgotten rhythms, we shall first share a moment of gentle breathing to settle your spirit. Now, let us invite true comfort into our being. Settle yourself, much like a tired wanderer finding their perfect resting spot beneath the comforting branches of a wise old tree. Feel your body sink gently into your mattress, or perhaps into the soft cushions of your chair, allowing every part of you to feel utterly supported and completely at ease. Adjust your blankets, pull them close as if they were a soft, warm hug, and let your pillow cradle your head, making a cozy nook just for you. This is your special time, a gentle evening pilgrimage where all the busy thoughts of the day may simply unfurl and drift away, inviting a quiet calm into your heart, as soft and pervasive as the ancient silence found within the sanctuary of hush itself. Let us share a soothing breath together now, much like the slow, contented exhalation of the vast, root-bound chambers. Slowly, gently, draw the air in through your nose, imagine it flowing easily and naturally, like a cool silvery mist filling every quiet corner of your being. Then release it just as gently through your mouth, a soft, almost imperceptible sigh of pure relief. With each slow, deliberate breath, feel your body softening, much like silk, gently unfurling, releasing any small knots of tension you might be holding. Imagine the delicate fragrance of night-blooming jasmine, the clean, earthy scent of damp stone, and the comforting aroma of warm herbal infusion filling your senses, hushing the small, lingering noises you might have carried from your day. If, perchance, your thoughts begin to flutter like dust motes dancing in the soft, diffused light filtering through ancient roots, that is quite all right, dear one. Simply observe them, allowing them to drift by like wisps of mist in a shallow dale, and then, with the gentlest kindness, guide your attention back to the steady rhythm of your breathing, or to the quiet comfort of my voice. There is nothing left for you to do now, save for listening and allowing the story to carry you into the deep, dreamless rest you so richly deserve. Feel the woven roots' gentle, rhythmic pulse, a vibration that resonates with the very song of patience, gently coaxing your own body into a profound state of relaxation. Let any remaining worries simply soften and dissolve like snow in a gentle spring. Now, let us begin our quiet journey into the heart of the Book of Closing Eyes, where the gentle hum of hush fungi and the soft glow of sleeping pages await to guide you into a serene and deeply restful sleep. Chapter 1. The Veiled Pathway. Lysander, whose life had been a diligent tapestry woven with the threads of precise detail and quiet order, felt a weariness settle deep within him, not a fatigue of the body, but a quiet exhaustion of the spirit. He found himself drawn to paths less traveled, to places where the world seemed to hold its breath. One late afternoon, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of soft lavender and muted rose, he noticed a subtle shift in the air, a cool, clean fragrance of unseen night-blooming jasmine, beckoning him away from the familiar. His journey had become less about destination and more about seeking a deeper stillness. The path he followed was not marked on any map he possessed. It was merely a thinning of the ancient trees, a gentle curve in the landscape that felt more like an invitation than a route. The light around him began to dim, not abruptly, but slowly, as if twilight itself had decided to linger here, weaving a perpetual soft gloom. He heard the faint, delicate rustle of unseen leaves, a sound like whispered secrets, and the occasional gentle drip of dew from unseen branches, each drop resonating with the profound quiet of the unfolding evening. The air grew steadily cooler, a comforting embrace that seemed to hush the lingering thoughts of the day. Then he saw it, a low, circular entrance, almost entirely hidden by a cascade of living roots that draped over it like an ancient emerald curtain. Nestled among the roots were patches of pale, delicate fungi, each cap glowing with a soft internal luminescence, casting a gentle, ethereal light upon the smooth, cool stone of the archway. The air immediately around the entrance held that same delicate jasmine scent, now mingled with the fresh, earthy aroma of damp stone and deep soil, promising a profound calm within its depths. This was not a place built by hands, but one that seemed to have grown from the earth itself. He stepped through the root-woven threshold, his soft leather boots making no sound on the packed earth floor within. The entrance closed gently behind him, not with a latch or a click, but with a soft sighing whisk as the roots settled back into place, sealing him within. The world outside, with its distant echoes of human activity, vanished completely, replaced by a silence so profound it felt like a presence, a soft, velvet cloak wrapping around him, absorbing all worry and noise. The light within was a muted, diffused glow, radiating from unseen sources high above, casting no harsh shadows. The chamber was circular, vast, and cool, its walls seemingly woven from ancient living roots that twisted and intertwined to form archways and columns, each one thick and smooth to the touch. These roots pulsed with a faint, almost imperceptible rhythm, a slow, deep thrumming that resonated in the very air. He could feel it too, a gentle vibration that settled into his own bones, a comforting sense of being deeply connected to the earth itself. The air, though cool, held a profound freshness, a scent of fertile soil and timeless growth. He found himself drawn to the center of the chamber, where a large, flat slab of polished dark stone rested low to the ground. Around it were several cushions, plump and inviting, made of a fabric that looked like spun silk, soft and yielding to the touch. He chose one, settling onto it with a quiet sigh of relief, feeling his body sink gently into its comforting depth. The warmth from the woven roots, barely perceptible, began to spread through him, a subtle heat that softened the edges of his weary spirit. In the complete absence of external sound, Lysander noticed the faintest, almost inaudible hum. It seemed to come from the patches of hush fungi that grew in the niches of the root walls, a delicate, low resonance that gently dampened any lingering internal echoes of his day. It was not a silence imposed, but a silence that actively nurtured, a sound that sang of peace. He felt his shoulders relax, his breath deepen, and the meticulous catalog of his mind began, for the first time in memory, to quiet its ceaseless hum. He closed his eyes, not with the intent of sleep, but simply to embrace the profound quiet. He felt the gentle, cool air on his skin, inhaled a delicate, intertwining sense of jasmine and damp earth, and felt the comforting stillness pressing softly around him. The subtle rhythmic pulse of the woven roots seemed to cradle him, easing away the unnoticed tensions that had long resided in his frame. In this sacred chamber, on this veiled pathway, Lysander felt as though he had finally, truly arrived at the quiet heart of the world, ready to shed the weight of all waking moments. Chapter 2. The Soft-Bound Keeper. When Lysander opened his eyes again, the soft light had shifted, a subtle dance of pale blue and muted violet filtering through the root-latticed ceiling. He was no longer alone. A figure stood near the great stone slab in the center of the chamber, moving with such unhurried grace that she seemed to simply coalesce from the pervasive quiet. This was Briar, the sanctuary's keeper. Her presence was as soft and gentle as the first light of dawn, and her eyes held the depth and patience of ancient stone, reflecting a serenity that seemed to permeate the very air around her. Her robes, woven from what looked like undyed linen, seemed to absorb the light, making her movements appear to flow like mist. Briar's gaze met his, and a faint, warm smile touched her lips, a gesture that conveyed a deep and quiet welcome without the need for words. In her hands, she held a small, polished wooden tray upon which rested 2 earthenware cups, steaming gently. The aroma that wafted from them was delicate and inviting, a subtle blend of soothing lavender and warm, comforting honey, promising a respite for the spirit. She moved with a quiet dignity, placing the tray on the stone slab, the cups making no sound as they settled onto the smooth surface. She then gently pushed one toward Lysander, an unspoken invitation to partake. Lysander took the cup, its smooth, cool ceramic warming gradually in his hands as he wrapped his fingers around it. He brought it to his lips, inhaling the sweet, calming scent before taking a slow, appreciative sip. The herbal infusion was like liquid tranquility flowing through him with a gentle warmth that spread from his chest to his very fingertips, dissolving any lingering coolness within him. He and Briar sat in a profound quiet, sharing the warmth of the tea, watching the faint, rhythmic pulse of the glowing hush fungi on the walls. It was a moment of perfect, unhurried companionship, a deep connection formed in the quiet appreciation of simple comforts. When their cups were empty, Briar rose, her movements as fluid and silent as the softest breeze. She gestured toward the high, root-bound shelves that lined the walls, not with a direct pointing finger, but with a slight tilt of her head, her gaze soft and inviting. Lysander rose too, feeling a lightness in his limbs he hadn't experienced in years. The air here was so pure, so still, that it felt as though he breathed in peace with every gentle inhalation. He followed Briar, his attention drawn to the countless tomes that rested on the shelves. These books were unlike any he had ever seen. They were not bound in leather or heavy vellum, but in materials that whispered of gentle comfort, covers of incredibly soft, spun silk that shimmered faintly in the diffused light, others of smooth river stone that felt cool and grounding, and some of polished, aged wood that exuded a faint, sweet aroma of cedar. Briar reached for one, its cover made of a pale, soft silk, and offered it to him. As he took it, he felt a remarkable yielding quality beneath his fingertips, a texture unlike any he had known. The book felt impossibly light, yet held a subtle, comforting weight. There were no titles, no markings on the silk cover, only the faintest, almost imperceptible shimmer that seemed to pulse from within. He ran a thumb over its surface, its texture like a soft whisper against his skin. Briar's eyes, gentle and deep, held a quiet expectation. Lysander carried the book back to his cushion by the stone slab, settling in with a sigh of soft contentment. The pervasive hum of the hush fungi seemed to grow a fraction louder, a subtle, inviting thrum that filled the tranquil air around him. He looked across at Briar, who had resumed her quiet posture near the root-bound column, her presence a silent, unwavering anchor of peace. She was not observing him, but simply being, her gentle focus on the tranquil space around them. Lysander felt no rush, no pressure, only a deep sense of belonging within this quiet embrace. The gentle warmth from the woven roots seemed to rise through his cushion, spreading slowly through his body, a feeling of deep, effortless relaxation. With a profound sense of anticipation, Lysander placed the soft silken book on his lap. He could feel its subtle internal luminescence like a trapped firefly. He took a slow, deep breath, the lavender and honey scent of the tisane still lingering pleasantly in his senses. There was nothing to understand here, only to experience. With a movement as soft as a fallen leaf, he reached out his hand to open the book of closing eyes, ready for the quiet wonders it held within its unwritten, glowing pages. Chapter 3. Pages of Sleeping Light. With a gentle touch, Lysander opened the silken-bound book. The pages within were not made of paper, but of an ethereal, translucent material, each leaf thinner than the finest spider silk and shimmering with a soft inner luminescence that pulsed with a slow, hypnotic rhythm. There were no words, no images, only this delicate, breathing light. Briar, sensing his gentle wonder, came to his side and, with a silent gesture, guided his hand to gently brush the surface of the top page. The moment his fingers made contact, the light on the page seemed to deepen, and the soft hum of the hush fungi momentarily swelled around him. He was no longer entirely in the sanctuary of hush, not through sight, but through a profound, immersive sensation. He found himself experiencing a moment from long ago. He felt the cool, damp texture of a single mossy stone cradled at the base of an ancient oak, while a soft, persistent rain fell, each droplet a gentle kiss. He could feel a slight tremor in the stone as the rain touched it, and the rich, earthy scent of wet soil and damp green moss filled his senses. a fragrance of deep, untroubled growth. It was a moment of pure elemental peace, experienced with every fiber of his being. The sounds were exquisitely clear. The gentle, hushed pat, pat, pat of the soft rain on the leaves above, the faintest murmur of a distant hidden stream flowing lazily over smooth pebbles, and the soft, steady drip of water from a wet branch onto the mossy ground. There was no sharpness, no urgency, only the quiet, rhythmic symphony of nature's slumber. He was not observing these sounds, but enveloped by them, a part of their ceaseless, gentle flow. His own thoughts quieted, receding like a gentle tide, leaving only the profound stillness of the moment. Just as gently as it had begun, the sensation receded, leaving him back in the quiet glow of the sanctuary. He lifted his hand from the page, his fingertips tingling softly, as if they had truly felt the cool, damp moss and the gentle rain. He looked at Briar, his eyes holding a new, deeper wonder, a quiet gratitude that needed no words. Briar's serene gaze met his, acknowledging the journey he had just taken, a journey not across land, but into the quiet heart of time itself. She simply nodded, a silent affirmation of the sleeping lights held within these pages. Lysander spent what felt like an unmeasured expanse of time within the tranquil embrace of the sanctuary, gently turning the pages of the silk-bound book. Each touch brought a new, utterly distinct sensory memory. He brushed a page and felt the delicate vibration of a single spider silk thread in the barest morning breeze, tasting the cool, clean air. He touched another and was immersed in the quiet stillness of a dewdrop clinging to a blade of grass, reflecting a miniature, inverted world of soft light and muted color. These were not grand experiences, but the minute, perfect moments of nature's restful slumber. With each immersion, a profound calm deepened within him. The meticulous archivist who once cataloged every waking moment found himself released from the need to record or understand. He simply allowed the sensations to wash over him, a gentle tide of pure being. The soft hum of the hush fungi, the steady, grounding pulse of the woven roots, and the delicate, refreshing scent of jasmine became the constant, comforting anchors of his quiet existence. He was not reading, but rather soaking, absorbing peace through every sense, feeling the gentle weight of relaxation settle over him. He learned that the purpose of this sanctuary was not to hold knowledge, but to preserve these fleeting moments of pure, unadulterated peace. Briar and the silent keepers before her had patiently collected these sleeping lights for centuries, each page a tiny sanctuary for a memory of utter tranquility. It was a profound act of reverence for the world's quiet beauty, a commitment to ensuring that moments of serene rest were never truly lost. The gentle, internal glow of the pages seemed to be the very essence of this preservation, a light that nurtured stillness. Lysander felt a loosening in his shoulders, a softening around his eyes, as if the very contours of his face were relaxing for the first time in years. He placed his hand once more on a glowing page, this time experiencing the cool, smooth texture of a polished river stone warmed by the first touch of dawn, its subtle scent of clear water and ancient earth. He closed his eyes, and a soft, content sigh escaped his lips as he felt the quiet peace of the sanctuary infuse his very being, carrying him deeper into a profound restorative repose. Chapter 4. The Unwritten Archives. The passage of time in the sanctuary of hush ceased to be a linear progression. Instead, it became a continuous, gentle unfolding, much like the slow opening of a night-blooming flower. Lysander's days were now an effortless dance with the sanctuary's profound stillness, his own being harmonizing with the soft hum of the hush fungi and the steady, grounding pulse of the woven roots. The world outside, with its myriad of facts and figures, had receded into a distant, muted echo, no longer holding any sway over his serene present. He would often join Briar in her quiet tasks, which were less like chores and more like acts of mindful reverence. Sometimes they would tend to the root-bound crystals that emerged from the living walls, their surfaces shimmering with an internal ethereal light like captured starlight. With a soft silken cloth, they would gently wipe away any dust, revealing the intricate patterns within, the crystals humming a low resonant note that vibrated softly through their fingertips, a melody of ancient peace. The air would grow cooler during these moments, filled with the faint, metallic scent of deep earth and crystallized light. Another gentle ritual was the cleaning of the sleeping pages. With utmost care, using brushes made of the softest bird feathers, they would lightly dust the surface of the open books, ensuring the glowing quality of the pages remained untarnished. Each feather stroke was slow and deliberate, a meditative act that focused the mind completely on the delicate task at hand. The subtle rustle of the feathers was the only sound, a quiet testament to the care given to these precious repositories of peace, making the air feel almost impossibly light and clean around them. Lysander's thoughts, once a bustling archive of meticulous details, had transformed into a calm, wide-open space, much like the sanctuary itself. The need to categorize, to analyze, had softened and receded. He found himself spending long stretches simply observing. He would watch the gentle dance of dust motes in the single soft beam of light that filtered from the high aperture, each tiny particle a silent dancer in the vast stillness. He would notice the subtle shift of the pale, luminous hush fungi as their glow brightened or softened, a slow, gentle breath of light. Sometimes Briar would hum a wordless tune, a melody so ancient and deeply rooted it seemed to be the very song of patience itself. It was never loud, always a soft, almost imperceptible sound that seemed to weave itself into the fabric of the pervasive quiet, adding a layer of gentle warmth to the cool air. Lysander found that he could feel the vibration of her humming through the woven roots when he leaned against them, a comforting resonance that filled him with a quiet contentment. There was no need for conversation, only the shared presence and the gentle hum of the world. He continued to explore the Book of Closing Eyes and the other silk-bound volumes, but his purpose had shifted. It was no longer about discovery, but about deepening his immersion. He would select a page, perhaps the memory of a leaf slowly unfurling in the quiet morning, and simply allow himself to be absorbed, feeling the slow expansion, the delicate texture, the pure, vibrant green, until he himself felt like a part of the growth. These gentle experiences were not just moments of beauty, but profoundly restorative meditations. One afternoon, Seated by the luminous root-bound crystals, a cup of warm herbal infusion warming his hands, Lysander felt his own breath lengthen and deepen, effortlessly synchronizing with the subtle rhythmic pulse of the woven roots. A profound sense of peace settled over him, not a fleeting happiness, but a deep, unshakable tranquility. He felt as though every part of him, from the tips of his toes to the crown of his head, was completely at ease, free from any lingering tension or thought. In that quiet, humming, breathing space, Lysander understood the sanctuary of hush was not merely a place, but a state of being. He was not a visitor, but a part of its gentle, unwritten archives. He closed his eyes, feeling the warmth of the cup, the yielding softness of the cushion, and the pervasive calm of the sanctuary, and he knew with a certainty that cradled his soul that he had found a true and enduring home for his spirit. Chapter 5. The Gentle Release. There came a quiet moment, not dictated by any external shift, but by an internal knowing, when Lysander felt a profound completeness settle within him. It was a sense of utter restoration, as if a quiet wellspring within his being, long dormant, had finally overflowed with clear, tranquil water. The deep peace of the sanctuary of hush was no longer something he experienced from without, but a gentle, resonant hum that had taken root within his very core, an internal anchor of stillness that he knew would remain with him always. The pervasive hum of the hush fungi now felt like an echo of his own quieted mind. He sought out Briar, finding her near an aperture where a single delicate stream of light filtered in, illuminating a patch of shimmering root-bound crystals. He spoke no words of departure, for none were needed. The serene keeper simply looked at him, her ancient eyes holding a deep, knowing warmth, and she offered a faint, gentle smile. The moment of parting was not an end, but a quiet, understanding continuation. Briar reached out, placing a hand lightly on his arm, a touch as soft and fleeting as a butterfly's wing, yet conveying a profound blessing. Then, from a fold in her robe, she produced a small, perfectly smooth river stone, cool to the touch, and pressed it into his palm. It held a faint, comforting vibration, a memory of the woven roots. Lysander walked slowly back through the vast circular chamber, his steps as silent as the falling dew. He ran a hand one last time along the cool, smooth surface of a woven root, feeling its gentle, rhythmic pulse, a silent farewell to a beloved companion. He breathed in the comforting scent of damp earth and the subtle fragrance of night-blooming jasmine, allowing the quietness of this space to fill him to his very brim. He paused by the soft, silk-cushioned spot where he had spent so many hours in quiet contemplation, feeling a wave of gentle gratitude wash over him, a profound thankfulness for the rest he had found. He was not leaving the peace behind. He was carrying it within him. He stood before the root-woven threshold, the tendrils of glowing hush fungi seeming to pulse a little more brightly, a final silent farewell. He placed his hand flat against the ancient root structure, feeling its subtle warmth. With a gentle push, the living archway swung open with its characteristic soft sigh, revealing the world beyond. The light that greeted him was the soft, muted gold of a late afternoon, gentle and diffused, washing over him like a warm, comforting wave. It did not feel harsh or jarring, but simply like a different shade of quiet, a gentler continuation of the stillness he had known within. Stepping across the threshold, he turned as the living roots gently settled back into place, their soft wish sealing the sanctuary's profound quiet once more. Yet the deep stillness did not leave him. It remained a vast, tranquil space within his own mind, a core of unshakable calm. The world outside seemed transformed, or perhaps it was he who had been remade. The colors of the wildflowers on a gentle hillside appeared softer, yet more vibrantly alive. The distant, delicate rustle of leaves sounded like a lullaby, and the touch of the gentle breeze on his skin was a soothing, almost ethereal caress, like a whisper against his cheek. He held a small, cool river stone from Briar in his hand, its faint, steady vibration a tangible reminder of the peace he now carried. He no longer felt the subtle weariness of the archivist, nor the ceaseless urge to catalog or understand. He felt only a profound sense of being utterly present, of belonging not to one place, but to the gentle, quiet beauty of the world itself, interconnected with its every soft breath and gentle hum. He had sought respite, and had instead found a new, profound way of inhabiting the world. He stood on the verdant hillside for a long, unhurried moment, simply breathing. He drew in the fresh, clean air, sensing the delicate jasmine scent still clinging to his robes, and as he exhaled, it was a slow, soft sigh of pure, boundless contentment. He could still feel the cool, damp texture of the mossy stone from a sleeping page, still hear the gentle, hushed pat, pat, pat of that long-ago rain. These sensory memories were now woven into the very fabric of his own soul, a rich tapestry of quietude. With a soft, peaceful smile gracing his lips, Lysander turned and began to walk, his steps unhurried, his path unbound by maps. He did not know where he was going, and for the first time in his long life, that felt perfectly, wonderfully right. The story closes here, not with an end, but with a gentle continuation, leaving the listener adrift on that same soft tide of deep contentment, ready to be carried into a profound and utterly restorative sleep.